especially after you put it on the computer. I don't have anything to do with it. We talked about the big expenses. Most of the time, though, I pulled an ostrich, not really wanting to keep track of the money. I let him do it all. Monthly, he would pay the bills, and he would get really upset when money was spent that he didn't know about. That meant it was me spending it. He would be upset, and tensions rose, and the way I dealt with that is I'd make myself really scarce. I'd go take a nice hot bath, or I'd call my mom on the phone until he cooled off. So we never really resolved anything. I continued to buy presents for people, gifts that weren't on his radar, until the bills came in the next month, and then he would be upset again, and it was kind of like a terrible cycle. Well, I found out just yesterday as we were getting ready for this talk that sometimes he would deal with his anger by going out and buying something. Because I'd spent money, it was his turn, it was a tit for tat kind of thing. So we were in a pretty bad cycle. We both agreed it was a weird way to try to control our spending.
In addition to our spending wars, we were also spending money on too many dinners out. And some months we would rein it in, and then Christmas would arrive, or special birthdays, anniversaries, and so overspending would happen again. We would try to find lower interest rate payments on our credit card, and refinance the house to consolidate debt and juggle payments. We consolidated more than once on refinance stuff. Needless to say, we were spending more than we made. It was at this point when I thought our next step was really going to be bankruptcy. And then Financial Peace University came around, and I knew if we learned some tools, we might be able to make it.
Well, some of you know that Bob's an actor, and I thought he was being dramatic, using the bankruptcy word to scare me into not spending. But I was also aware that my teaching actor husband was planning to retire from full-time teaching, and that our finances were going to change. So some of you may know Peggy O'Neill or Tim Butterfield, and they were facilitators last spring in the FPU classes, and they personally invited us to go to a group that they were going to facilitate. They asked us just to go to